Hi, I'm Jess Romeo and the founder of MyGenderIQ. I'm also a psychiatric nurse practitioner with my own private practice, and I'm going to show you today how to set up your intake queue EHR to be trans inclusive. And particularly, we're going to focus on how to capture data about the patient's name and have that be their affirmed name as opposed to something that might be on documents. So first things first, you may hear the terms chosen name and legal name, and while that's a fair proxy we could use just for expediency, I want you to know that there's no such thing as a legal name. It's complicated, but basically the terminology that we use within the EHR that needs to go to claims or needs to go to pharmacies, we use the terminology name on insurance, which you can see here. So a couple things that we've done in our system to set this up correctly is one, we created a custom field here called name on insurance, and we created an intake form. You see the most recent one. I think it's in this form where that maps to that field. So this is the language that we use to explain to people why we have to ask for both. So we say, please note that we honor your gender identity and chosen name. However, if there is another sex or gender or name listed on insurance or other documents, we will also need that information in order to keep you from experiencing coverage or other administrative delays. And additionally, if you're transgender or intersex and have questions about sex designations or insurance coverage, please let us know. Now, it will take me much longer than the few minutes I'd like this video to be to explain why we've done things that way, but basically, if you're going to be asking somebody something that could cause them gender dysphoria or remind them that their identities and the way they view themselves doesn't quite fit into the systems we have, you need to explain why, and you need to be as compassionate about it as possible. So that's how we do it. And so name on insurance, we call it AKA legal name because that also might be how people are used to reporting it. So that's how we ask people about this information. I'm not going to get into gender because we're really focusing on name here. And the mechanics of this actually take a couple of steps. And I've tried it different ways, and I think this is currently the best way to do it within intake queue. I have been insistent throughout having my practice that this name needs to be the patient's affirmed name. I'm not interested in putting a dead name as the patient's name in the chart. I don't care about whether you can put their actual name in quotations or not. I don't like it. I wanted to create a different system. So there is a way to do this, but unfortunately, if you're a prescribing provider, this field will not map to any important places that interact with the prescribing portal or with claims. So what you have to do is when the patient reports name on insurance, aka legal name, that is the name that has to go on insurance claims. That is often the name that has to go on prescriptions as well. I do know some pharmacies that are honoring people's chosen names, but there's so much variation as to who does allow that and who doesn't that I honestly am not in a place of being able to keep up with that right now. That's just my admission. I know some providers who are, and they see that as an important affirming thing to do for their patients, but I think that first of all, most patients get it. They understand why an old name has to go on a prescription. And we do a lot of other trans-affirming things right in our practice. So for most people and for the practice, the simplicity of just having that be the correct information until the patient informs us otherwise has been the best way for us to navigate it. But here's what you have to do. If they report a name on insurance, you need to go to claims, claim defaults, and this is the name that needs to go into claim defaults. It will not automatically map there. You have to type it in. But once you put that name in, that is what field will populate for any claims if you do insurance-based practice. And that is the name that will go to the prescribing portal, which is incredibly important that the correct name be on the prescription. So again, have an affirming way that you ask for people's name in the intake form. You need their chosen name and their dead name, or the name that's on document. Explain why you need their dead name, and then go to claims, claim defaults, and put the dead name here. That way, if you need it in the chart to go to a super bill or to go to the pharmacy, you've got what you need. And that's how my practice navigates using someone's affirmed name in the chart while also capturing the name needed to process things for insurance, other administrative concerns, or importantly, prescriptions. Hope you found this helpful.